Have you ever seen the Brady Bunch photo that made everyone unable to speak? If you haven't already, you're going to have a great time. When we dug into some shocking behind-the-scenes secrets of this beloved TV show today, you won't believe what we discovered. Stay with me until the very end because what we have in store will surprise you utterly. Now, when the Brady Bunch aired in 1969, it became an instant hit and ran until 1974. The show focused on a mixed family that was brought together by Mike and Carol, each of whom had 3 children from previous marriages. They lived in a beautiful house with their quirky servant Alice and their cute pet Ty. The family relationship was idealized on television and quickly accepted as the standard for American households. Let's just say, though, that conditions behind those TV screens weren't quite optimal. We're going to discover some very strange tales, so get ready. Because the Brady family was so realistic for its day, viewers couldn't help but fall in love with them. But as the program drew to a close, mysteries began to emerge. And I'm not talking about little things. This is a big, exciting drama that nobody knew about. For example, did you notice that Carol's previous marriage was never mentioned in the show? Indeed, precisely. Mike was widowed, but Carol, she was divorced, so the producers felt it would be better to leave that little tidbit out of the show. The sitcom aimed to portray the ideal family, but the real world was far more complex. Because Mike and Carol had their own pasts, the show's creators felt it was inappropriate to talk about divorce or other real-life issues. In the 1960s, divorce was still considered a taboo subject. Mike became the widowed parent and Carol the first-time bride. That was the story they continued to tell, and it worked. Let's talk about the casting for the show. Contrary to popular belief, the casting process was somewhat chaotic behind the scenes. Sherwood Schwartz, the show's creator, vetted more than 1,000 kids before selecting the 6 Brady kids. He required them to be perfect. As a result, he made sure the children's hairstyles mirrored those of their TV parents. Indeed, precisely. The kids had to look just as their parents did on film. Is it feasible? A family having children who, like their parents, are both brown and blonde. Now let's move on to the thrilling portion. As you may know, Robert Reed, who played Mike Brady, wasn't too happy with how his part was portrayed. He was a serious Shakespearean actor, so being cast in a goofy sitcom was not exactly his dream part. Reed didn't hold back either. He wrote handwritten remarks to the show's creator, offering criticism on the scripts. He thought the plot was illogical and that the comedy and drama didn't mesh well. Despite everything, he continued to appear on the show for 5 seasons. Imagine the stress on the set. The show's creator, Sherwood Schwartz, and Robert Reed were often at odds, which is another startling fact. Since they couldn't agree, Reed even directed a few episodes in an effort to mediate the situation. Many people regarded Reed as one of the best TV fathers ever, notwithstanding their disagreement. His somber depiction of Mike Brady set the standard for fathers on TV. But his dissatisfaction with the show was well known off-camera. Florence Henderson, who played the iconic Carol Brady, should not be forgotten. Fans saw Carol as the perfect TV mother, but Florence had her own of challenges. She battled melancholy and even went through a divorce while the show was in operation. By hiding all of it from the public, she managed to maintain her image as the loving mother. Behind the scenes, though, Florence was balancing some challenging personal issues. She went on to use her personal struggles as a relationship therapist to help others, though, and her resilience is truly amazing. Do you believe it is feasible? We all know and adore Carol Brady, but she was going through her own personal turmoil. Then there was the performers' internal strife. Let's talk about the rivalry between Eve Plum and Maureen McCormick's characters, Jan and Marcia. This competition was the central plot point of the play, but it was more than just acting. The 2 actresses had their own issues behind the scenes. Eve Plum, who played Jan, was often overshadowed by Maureen McCormick's character, Marcia. The roles were not the only thing the actresses had to deal with. Sibling conflict. Eve could not help but be compared to Maureen's beauty and celebrity. But wait, things get stranger still. Did you know that Maureen and Susan Olsen, who portrayed Cindy, had previously been involved in some severe issues? They both committed shoplifting, which resulted in various dangerous situations. Maureen subsequently said that she was driven by the thrill of stealing even though she didn't really need any of the things she took. This went on for a while until things became out of control. The fact that the 2 had to cope with the consequences made this a pivotal moment in Maureen's life. Behind the scenes of one of the most wholesome television families ever. All of this occurred. Isn't that absurd? Now let's take a closer look at the relationship between Florence Henderson and Barry Williams. Florence had a serious crush on Barry, who portrayed Greg Brady on the show, but Barry had feelings for Florence as well. Despite their different ages, the 2 developed a genuine affection for each other. Florence, however, asserted repeatedly that Barry was merely her son. Barry, well, she respected him too much to reveal it, and he kept his crush a secret. But it was clear from their interactions, both on and off camera, that they shared a special affinity. Despite having many romance stories on the program, Greg Brady never kissed anyone on screen. This is a little-known fact. Indeed, precisely. Greg was never allowed to kiss anyone on the show, even though he had multiple relationships. This was unusual for a show at the time, and fans made light of it. Because the Brady Bunch wanted to keep the ambience innocent and family-friendly, kisses were never shown on television. The Brady kids weren't always so innocent, though. Bobby Brady, the youngest son, was the only person kissed on the episode. In one incident, he was kissed on the cheek at a party by a girl named Millis. Even though it was brief, the moment was important, especially considering how cold the other characters were in the movie. Before the Bradys, another well-known couple on TV was Mary Kay and Johnny. They were the first TV couple to share a bed, but it was controversial at the time. The Bradys were continuing the legacy of a trailblazing couple who had already shattered that barrier, despite their seeming pioneer status. This new mystery regarding the Brady Bunch will astound you. Even though they were portrayed as a beautiful family, the show had a rough start. Its ratings weren't great at initially, but in the end, it became well known and is now considered to be among the most beloved television shows ever. Isn't that crazy? Now that you know some of the shocking facts behind the Brady Bunch, I hope this movie has given you a new perspective on the show. If you found this fascinating, don't forget to like and subscribe for more incredible TV secrets. Remember to click the notification bell so you don't miss any new videos. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.